There were moments this season I almost didn't hit publish. Not because I didn't believe in the message, and not because I didn't believe in you, but because growth is heavy. Because when you decide to evolve publicly, when you decide to stretch your thinking, refine your voice, and raise your own standard in real time, it exposes you. And there were days that I thought, is this landing? Is this too much? Is anyone really even doing the work? And if I'm being honest, I know some of you almost quit too. There were episodes that challenged you, concepts that pressed your identity, moments where it would have been easier to scroll to something lighter, safer, or more comfortable. But you didn't. You stayed. And that matters more than you know. Because this season wasn't entertainment. It was elevation. It was higher level thinking becoming normal. It was choosing reflection over reaction. It was confronting the parts of ourselves that were operating on autopilot. We talked about the bridge. We talked about identity. We talked about becoming the version of you that can hold more responsibility, more awareness, and more impact. And here's what most people don't understand about growth. It doesn't feel like fireworks. It feels like friction. It feels like outgrowing conversations. It feels like pausing before you speak. It feels like losing tolerance for your own excuses. And that's not regression. That's recalibration. And if you felt that this season, even quietly, if you've noticed you respond differently now, think differently now, and hold yourself differently now, then you didn't just listen to season 2, you became it. We made it. 52 episodes, 52 intentional deposits, and 52 weeks of choosing not to coast. And today, it's not just a finale, it's a completion. It's the closing of a version of you that could only take you so far. Because completion isn't an ending. It's a frequency shift. So before we talk about where we're going, before we talk about season 3, let's acknowledge what just happened. We didn't just produce content. We built capacity. And today, we celebrate that. Welcome to episode 52. We made it. We did it. Let's talk about who you are now. Are you ready? I am. I'm Jonah, and I will always be your person. Let's get to it. Hey everyone, thank you so much for joining and welcome to the show. I am super stoked to be sharing with you this finale episode in season 2. Thanks so much to all of you who have stayed and spent this last 52 weeks with me on this amazing journey. Like seasons of change, we do the same. Season 3 is scheduled to launch on March 11th. I will be dropping some special content for the next couple of weeks whilst I take some time off. I will be traveling to gather new content, visit some people, and get ready to make season 3 amazing. One of my big goals this year is to get the show translated into Spanish, not just going forward, but from the very first show. So that way we can reach all the Spanish-speaking countries. Right now, the show is streaming in 24 countries and counting. And that's because of all of you, particularly those who subscribe, like, comment, follow, and share the show with those who you think can benefit. I'm asking you for your continued support by visiting my socials, liking, following, and also subscribing to wherever you're listening to your favorite podcasts. One of the things I'll also be doing is putting some of the episodes, if not parts of the episode, on video, where you can then view that on my YouTube channel under Challenge Accepted with Jonah C. Now, if you'd like to give your full support, continue to follow, as I mentioned, on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, Snapchat, LinkedIn, Blue Sky, and Threads. All right, enough about that. But seriously, thanks so much for continuing to support the show. It means the world to me, and the more support the show gets, the bigger it gets, the more people it reaches. So I'd like for you to sit back, relax, sip on your favorite tea, lie on your back, look at the ceiling, or just simply listen to fall asleep. Think back to who you were when this season started. Not the version of you from years ago. I mean the version of you from episode 1, season 2. You had goals. You had intention. You had clarity, or at least you thought you did. But clarity at one level feels different than clarity at another. When this season began, most of us were operating from awareness, but not yet embodiment. We understood concepts like discipline, identity, higher level thinking. But understanding something and living it are not the same. I can tell you personally, when this season launched, I believed I had expanded. And I had. But I hadn't yet been tested at the level that this season required. There were conversations that stretched me, moments that required restraint, and situations that demanded a calmer nervous system than I used to carry. Growth didn't just announce itself. It revealed itself in response. And if you're being honest, the same happened for you. You started this season wanting improvement, but somewhere along the way, improvement turned into integration. You don't react as quickly now. You don't chase validation the same way. You certainly don't tolerate your own excuses like you used to. Not because someone forced you, but because your standard shifted. And that's the real transformation. The version of you that started this season was capable, but the version that you're sitting on here right now is calibrated, more aware, more regulated, more intentional, more purposeful. And that shift didn't just happen loudly. It happened gradually, through repetition, through reflection, through choosing not to default to old patterns. That growth, not dramatic reinvention, but subtle elevation. This is where seasons of change happen. This is the space between cause and effect. This is the bridge. This season didn't just change who you are. It refined who you were already becoming. All right, let's talk about how the resistance was actually the curriculum. Let me ask you something. Which episode this season made you uncomfortable? Not the one you loved, the one that pressed on something, the one that made you pause and think, okay, that one's about me. Every season has highlight moments, but growth rarely happens in the highlights. It happens in the resistance. The episode you almost skipped, the concept you pushed back on, the moment you felt exposed, even privately, that wasn't random. That was curriculum. We like to believe growth feels inspiring, but most of the time, it feels inconvenient. It feels like realizing you've been operating from ego. It feels like nothing's really happening. It's like noticing a pattern you can't unsee. It feels like outgrowing a mindset that used to protect you. That tension you felt, that wasn't attack. That was expansion knocking on your door. And here's what's powerful. You didn't turn it off. You stayed. You listened through it. You thought through it. And some of you even wrestled with it quietly. That's maturity. Because immature growth says, I like what confirms me. Mature growth says, I'll examine what confronts me. This season had confrontation in it. Not aggressive, not loud, but precise. And precision builds capacity. Some of the most important shifts this lesson didn't come from inspiration. They came from friction. And friction, when you don't run from it, refines you. And here's the thing. I'm going to pause here for just a second and go off script. One of the things throughout every episode of the 52 that we dropped every week had commonality. And some of that commonality was not just the definition of staying, but the action and the decision and the choosing of staying. That's powerful. And when we're able to tap into those superpowers that we humanly have, that's when we see progress. That's when resilience and perseverance pay off. And it's no different as we now go into talking about the bridge. Somewhere in the middle of the season, something shifted. Not just in you, but in how you see the world. We talked about the bridge, not as a concept to memorize, but as a reality to recognize. We are living in between old systems and new awareness, in between reaction and regulation, in between survival thinking and higher level thinking. And here's what's powerful. You stop waiting for the world to stabilize before you did. That's the shift. Most people say, I'll grow when things calm down. I'll elevate when the environment improves. But this season, you practice becoming steady in the middle of movement. That's different. The bridge isn't about crossing into some perfect future. It's about who you are whilst you're crossing. Are you reactive or reflective? Rigid or adaptive? Performing or embodying? This season wasn't about building louder opinions. It was about building deeper posture. Leadership, not the title, but the posture. The ability to hold complexity without collapsing. The ability to pause without disappearing. The ability to think before amplifying. That's higher level thinking in motion. And if you really zoom out, you're not preparing for a new world. You're practicing being a person in the current one. That's why this season mattered. Not because we explained the bridge, but because you started walking it and walking it differently. That's what makes the difference. If we open our eyes, and I don't mean your physical eyes, I mean your heart, your soul, your awareness, be that your self-awareness or awareness about the things, events, and people around you, there are quiet miracles happening around us all the time. Not every win is loud. Some victories, they don't get any applause. Some breakthroughs aren't screenshot worthy. Some shifts don't even make it into your journal. But your body remembers. Think about it. The moments you didn't snap back at someone, even though you wanted to. The times you chose presence over reaction. The decisions you made silently that built the version of you who could handle more. Those are the quiet miracles. They don't announce themselves. They're subtle. They're incremental. They're inside the pause before you speak, the restraint before you act, and the reflection before you respond. And here's the thing. Those moments matter more than any headline win. Because change isn't measured in fanfare. It's measured in alignment. It's measured in consistency. In becoming the person who, when friction comes, doesn't fall apart. Who holds space for themselves. Who chooses integrity, not approval. And some of those miracles, those happened without you even realizing it. Someone you loved noticed a small shift in you. Someone you barely know was influenced by how you carried yourself this week or last week, and then can depend upon how you carry yourself in the future. And maybe, just maybe, if you're paying attention, you noticed it too. In the way your body feels calmer, your mind feels steadier, or your presence feels more grounded. These are the wins we don't track. The ones that we don't boast about. The ones that actually build the foundation for the next level of your life. Here's a short recap for you. This season's most powerful changes aren't the moments we broadcast. They're the quiet miracles inside us, inside others, and inside the spaces where no one else is looking. Let's talk about connection and collective energy. Here's something I want you to feel right now. You didn't do this alone. Every episode you showed up for, every moment you reflected, every time you challenged yourself quietly or out loud, it rippled. It reached someone else. It changed someone's day, their week, their perspective. Even you didn't hear about it. Even you didn't see it. This show isn't about me. It's about us. The listeners who stayed. The ones who pushed pause to think deeper. The ones who went back to listen to a certain part of the episode over and over and over again because it hit them to their core. Maybe that's you. Or the ones who sent a message, shared an episode, or even just nodded along whilst walking in their own life. Even those that put their head on the pillow just to listen to fall asleep. That has always been the purpose of this show. That collective energy, myself, you, your relatives, your friends, that stranger, that collective energy is why we made it. It's why this season works. And here's what's wild. Connection isn't always loud. It's often invisible. It's small gestures. It's silent understanding. It's being consistent without recognition. And the people in your orbit, the ones who see you and support your growth, they're a part of this. And the energy you put out comes back. Not always immediately, and not always in ways you expect, but it does come back. We're not just building a podcast. We're building a space, a bridge between awareness and embodiment, a network of people who refuse to settle, people who choose to reflect over react, people who understand that small, quiet acts of growth have massive ripple effects. And here's where we bring it all together. You didn't just grow alone. You moved through a collective frequency. Your energy, your attention, your presence, combined with others, created a current that lifts more than just yourself. All right. Take a deep breath. Look at yourself right now, not as you were at the start of the season, not even as the version who handled the quiet miracles. I mean, right here. You are here. You are elevated. You are calibrated. And here's the wild part. Your future isn't someone out there. It's waiting for you in the choices you make today, in the energy you carry, in the reflection you allow. This season has been about alignment. It's been about walking the bridge whilst holding complexity. It's been about noticing friction and learning to navigate it with intention. Now imagine, just for a moment, what's next? Not a hypothetical dream, not a fantasy, a version of your life where what you've practiced, presence, restraint, reflection, embodiment, shows up consistently, where your actions, energy, and awareness ripple further than you've ever imagined. This is higher level thinking and action. Seeing what's possible before you've cleared the patterns that you've once held back. Choosing what matters before you can now recognize what doesn't. And operating from frequency instead of reaction. The future isn't a someday. It's the moment you choose right now to act differently, to pause before responding, to reflect before reacting, and to connect instead of isolate. Every choice you make, even the small ones, it builds trajectory. And the proof is already in you. The discipline, the reflection, the quiet victories, the collective energy of this entire season. You are not waiting for your future self. You are already stepping into that frequency. The bridge is not ahead. It is beneath your feet. And you carry it forward every time you make conscious choices, every time you act aligned with who you are becoming. Yes, we've done it. Yes, we made it. And yes, we won. I now want to leave you with the finale challenge, something to prove to yourself. Before we close this season, I want you to do one simple thing. Complete this sentence. This season proved that I am someone who blank. Once again, this season proved that I am someone who blank. I'll start. This season proved that I am someone who cares, who loves, who stays, is someone that can be depended upon to be there. I'm your person. Now it's your turn. Not who you want to be, not who you're trying to become, who you already proved you are. Maybe it's someone who doesn't quit, someone who can sit with discomfort, someone who chooses pause over reaction, someone who grows through resistance, or someone who just keeps showing up and is present. Whatever it is, make it honest. Then say it out loud, not in your head. Be courageous. Say it out loud, like legit. Let your nervous system hear it. Let your body register it. Because season 3 doesn't begin with potential. It begins with proof. And this season, you proved something to yourself. Hold on to that. That's yours. As we close this episode and this season finale, let these words ring true and to the core of who you are until we meet again. We made it. We did it. We won. This isn't mine. It's ours. And I don't say that lightly. 52 weeks of showing up, 52 deposits into something bigger than a podcast. Before anything else, thank you so much. Thank you for continuing to go on this journey with me. It's been exciting. It's been fulfilling. I've met so many people, and I want to continue to meet more. To the ones who have been here since season 1, thank you. To the ones who joined midstream, to the quiet listeners who never comment but never miss an episode, to the ones who shared it with a friend and didn't even tell me. You matter more than you know. You gave me your time, and time is the one thing that none of us gets back. This show has grown because you chose to engage with it, to think, to reflect, to stay. And if this season impacted you, even in a small way, I want to ask you again to help me widen the doorway. Season 3 is the year we expand and explode. Follow the show. Subscribe. Leave a rating on the Apple Podcast system or Spotify or wherever you listen. Here's why I ask again. Because the algorithm doesn't measure intention. It measures engagement. When you follow, rate, or share an episode, these platforms push it out to more people. That means someone who's stuck, someone who's searching, someone who needs language for what they're feeling. It gets them access. And you're not just supporting a show. You're helping build a space where higher level thinking becomes normal. Season 2 was refinement. Season 3 is about expansion. Not louder, deeper, sharper, more embodied. I'm so grateful for you. I'm proud of what we're building and what we've built. And I'm ready for what's next. Are you? Good. I'll see you again with a brand new season on March 11th. For now, keep an eye on my socials for promo reels and new information for the show. Thank you so much again, and have a great week.